If you look at the consonant chart in the IPA, you would see that taps and flaps are listed together. And the reason is that they're very similar for all intents and purposes. They might be considered the same, but some phoneticians make a distinction between the two. What is a tap? It refers to any sound articulated by a single rapid contact with the roof of the mouth as passive articulator, with the tongue being the active articulator. It can be seen as a brief articulation of a stop. First of all, what I said means that all taps are lingual, in the sense that the active articulator is always the tongue. Using different parts of the tongue with different parts of the roof of the mouth, you can produce different kinds of tap. A tap is distinguished from a plosive in the sense that in this plosive, you have this complete closure and sudden release, but a tap can be seen as a brief articulation of a stop. If you change the manner of articulation, it means if you change the way your articulators interact with each other and you briefly bring them into contact, instead of saying da, you will end up saying ra. That's why in many American English pronunciations, when you actually have a D in the intervocalic position, you will end up pronouncing it like tap version. Even if you have ta, because the difference between ta and da is just in voicing, but in terms of place of articulation, they're in the same place. If you pronounce latter, if you enunciate it, pronounce it slowly. Latter, the T is voiceless. But then the D is voiced, ladder. But in rapid speech, in most normal speech, people don't produce a complete closure because maybe they don't have time, so they just engage the articulators briefly and they end up pronouncing the tap. So instead of saying latter and ladder, they end up saying ladder, ladder. For example, if you have the word batter, even if you pronounce it batter, because batter is not a word, there is no confusion. So when you say batter, people know that if you want to enunciate it, it's T, and it's because of rapid speech. But sometimes there's two words, one with T and then the other one with D, and then in rapid speech they become homophones. The reason is that both ta and da are tapped in the intervocalic positions. The theoretical distinction between taps and flaps exists in the sense that in the case of flaps, the active articulator, which could be the tongue, would go back to the position of rest. But in the case of taps, you engage in a very rapid pronunciation, similar to plosives, but very rapid. This distinction may not be significant in most languages. All taps are voiced, and you can verify that by looking at the phonetic chart, because all the three taps that are listed here are listed to the right of the cell where they occur.